SOUNDSCALE is a project in which we are investigating the implications of an emerging technology called Distributed Acoustic Sensing, or DAS. DAS is a technology that can turn optical fibers into an array of virtual microphones.
So imagine if your cable is tens or hundreds of kilometers long, that we're able to transform it into a device that can listen to all sorts of activities. Can allow us to not just listen all along the cable, but also both in near and far field from the cable, to transform and give us a real view of what's happening in the entire environment.
We started with a fibre-optic cable, which is a glass cable where lights travel through it. The light can change due to external factors. This is what distributed acoustic sensing is.
But this is still a little bit far from being a reality. What we're trying to do in this project is to get ahead of all the implications that this technology could have, from social implications, ethical, economical, environmental applications, before it's too late. Optical fibers are everywhere in our cities, underground, under our roads. They're even connecting continents through our oceans. Many of these cables are unused, and we can turn them into this array of sensors that could be used for things like city planning, monitoring the infrastructure of buildings to tackle climate change and floods, extreme events. But there could be also some implications, which could be surveillance, issues with data management, data processing, the energy consumption.
Any kind of activity that would really be in a contested area between personal data or something that happens in public space and private space, it's obviously quite a large area of concern.
So we're involving people from the very beginning to ask them what they think the priorities of our research should be. So they will be guiding our research in this topic over the rest of the project.
The innovation here is to actually ask a really diverse group of people, what should scientists do? Because when we build things, we tend to build them in ways, it's very hard to change what we've done later on. What we really want to do is make sure that people are at the heart and at the start of doing science.
People are looking for the positives, but I think naturally people also try and tease out some of the negatives as well. And so it's important to hear those concerns at the very beginning, around security, privacy and governance.
So of the 50 people that we've got involved in this project, there's 25 people in London and there's 25 people in kind of Hampshire. And we've recruited from those areas for this, and they represent a variety of ages, a variety of genders, people from different ethnicities and with different experiences of life, to make sure that the people in the room are actually all hearing from different perspectives and considering some of these issues from their own standpoint.
We've got 5 different themes. There's environment, there's health and community, there's governance and costs, there's surveillance and crime, and there's city infrastructure.
It's important for the people who are researching this technology to understand what people think. This helps bring people to come up with better ideas and make better decisions.
They were doing things like the sci-fi workshop activities. We went outside, got people to think about where the cables are. All sorts of different things have kind of emerged because we've got local people here.
We had members of the public basically use the same methods that science fiction writers use to imagine how particular technology might be used in the future. Science fiction thinking allows you to really engage with what could be or what would happen if this was true.
I think it's really important to involve citizens in things that could have an effect on where they live and the areas around them.
This was quite a good way of approaching a new technology. It's termed a citizens panel, so where we can inform choices that are made down the line.
It's good to bring members of the public with you at the very beginning to sort of really feel out where some of those potential red lines could be for society.
If it's just people just researching it, you're only going to have the one opinion of this is what we're researching, this is what we're doing.
It was the breadth and depth of knowledge really of my co-attendees.
The more minds, the better, because everyone's coming in with their own unique lived experience.
If we don't have a say, then maybe the applications aren't going to be as ethical or as important as we need them to be for the public.
Because this technology is still so early stage, and there could be a series of very different implications that we don't fully understand yet, we need a really interdisciplinary team. So for SOUNDSCALE, we have people who are coming from physics, from political science, geography, computer science, the arts, critical media studies, sociology, oceanography.
It is only through working together with people from different disciplines that we could fully appreciate the bandwidth of opportunities that this capability offers.
Also are able to find very interesting assumptions about we as researchers make about our own disciplines and the bias that we have. And this only becomes visible when we start talking to each other and start discussing the methods and start addressing different perspectives that we have on how research should be conducted.
The goal of the project, or the objective, is to try and understand, first of all, does this work? Does it work involving citizens very early on in a scientific process? But then what we really want to do is know, once people have decided what the priorities are for research, how should we actually investigate them, and what ways can we use the technology to do this better?
After that, we will be researching those priorities, but we will continue with this community engagement, and we will also do policy engagement with policymakers so they understand that this technology is being developed and what people really think to make sure that these technologies are developed responsibly.